friend that literally hates you for no reason?
Yes.
Because I was friends with this girl in high school. Let's call her Britney. We were friends for probably a solid 3 or 4 years before I had to block her completely. When we would have sleepovers with a group of friends, this girl would be brutally picking on me the entire time. But when it was just me and her, she was great. She used to call me dumb and say she was smarter than me literally all the time. One time there was a pool party at her house and all the girls were putting on their swimsuits in one room. We were kind of all facing different corners of the wall. And she turned around, told everyone to look at me while I was changing.
What?
And started laughing at how skinny I was. Literally was pointing at me and laughing. And this is when I was like 14. Another time when we were like 16 or 17, I was having a sleepover with her and another girl, and she forced me to sleep on the tile floor while they slept on beds with no blankets or pillows, just straight up on the tile. Then she told me at the next sleepover she promised she would give me the bed, and then at the next sleepover the exact same thing happened again, and I slept on the cold hard tile with no blankets or pillows.
Oh, absolutely not.
The fact that I wanted to be an influencer and that I was actively pursuing that. She would always tell me my career was gonna fail, I was gonna amount to nothing in life, and I was gonna end up homeless on the streets of LA. Well, she was successful. I think part of the reason she was so mad was because her ex-boyfriend confessed his love to me, but I rejected him, and that was also like towards the very beginning of our friendship. Like, I'm telling you, there had to be more. She was also that girl that would immediately start putting me down whenever we were in front of a group of guys, like I was a threat or something, and she was trying to make me look bad.
Absolutely, that's what it was.
Eventually, senior year rolls around, and I decide I am sick of putting up with her BS, and I don't know why I'm doormatting to her all these years and still being her friend when she treats me like that.
I don't know either.
So I'll tell you how our friendship breakup went. This is when I figured out that this girl is actually crazy. So I just started completely ignoring her and not responding to any of her texts, which worked for a month or two, until one of my other best friends was having a birthday and she wanted all of us to go out to brunch. Obviously, Britney was gonna be there. So I thought, it's fine, there's gonna be like 7 of us there. I can easily just not talk to her, I'll just ignore her. Little did I know what was about to go down in the middle of this restaurant. So it's like me and 7 other girls going out.
Bestie, let me just like clarify here. It's not for no reason. It's because she's jealous of you. Okay? That is a reason to some people.
The brunch for my other friend's birthday. And of course she ends up sitting directly across from me at the table. I still think she did that on purpose. She's sitting across from me next to my other friend. And I kid you not, she literally starts looking at me across the table and like talking about me to my friend's ear and making it as obvious as she possibly can. Like, this is literally her. She's like talking, looking at my friend, looking at me, looking at my friend, looking at me, which my other friend really should have stuck up for me.
Period.
And stopped her from doing that.
Yeah.
But I'm not friends with her anymore either. So I'm like, oh, we're being petty now. So at first I try to ignore it for like a really long time, and eventually when I can't ignore it anymore, I decide to be petty too. I do the same thing. I start talking to my best friend who's next to me, and I'm like, do you see what she's doing right now? And my best friend's like, oh my god, yeah. So I'm literally sitting there minding my business, cutting my little waffle with my butter knife, and I think I was pressing on it too hard because my butter knife flew out of my hand and it literally flew across the restaurant. It made a super loud noise. It's literally sitting on the floor like all the way across this restaurant. I just look at my friends. I like started laughing because I was so like surprised. I was slapped my hand over my mouth and I was like, guys, what do I do? I literally said to them too, I was like, what do I do? Before I even have time to figure that out, Britney stands up as aggressively as she possibly can, pushes her seat out, stomps across the restaurant,
gets the knife,
literally is making a scene, walks back, and then slams it as hard as she possibly can down on my plate in front of me. I am shocked my plate didn't break. And then she literally yells as loud as she can, that's what you do when you have a real job and you work in hospitality. Like, dissing me because I wanted to be an influencer. Everyone was literally quiet. Getting through that brunch was hell after that, but we were all standing outside afterwards. My friend whose birthday it was wanted to take a group picture of all of us, so I think we asked a stranger to take it. And even though it wasn't her birthday, Britney decides she's gonna decide where everyone stands. More specifically, me. So she grabs my arm literally as hard as she possibly can. Like right here, she's gripping onto it, and I swear she was like channeling her like rage into that grip she had on my arm. I'm not even kidding, she literally digs her nails into my arm as hard as she possibly can, like to the point where she almost drew blood. Like, I was in pain, and she starts pulling me. She yanks my arm and starts dragging me where she wants me to stand for this picture. I was so and fed up at this point. I literally like yanked my arm out of her hand. I just looked her in the eye and I said, excuse me, but I said it a lot more than that, don't worry. And she just goes, you need to go stand on the end. And of course it was so she
no, you don't.
Stand right next to the birthday girl for the picture, which, what are we, 2? So then we pose for the picture. She leaves because she decided to go home early. And the plans were, my friend whose birthday it was, she wanted to go shopping, so I went with them. But this was before I learned how to be unbothered, okay? So I was having a hard time after that. I was literally so angry, like, that entire shopping trip. So finally, I'm on my way home, and I'm thinking, thank God all of that is over at least. I can go home and relax. Yeah, no. So I get home, and my mother tells me that this girl, Britney, had literally sent my mother a paragraph. Like,
oh, not your mother.
Basically just going on and on and on. I don't even have the text. I don't know exactly what she said, but I remember it was something about, like, you should be so disappointed to have her as your daughter. You need to get her in trouble. You should be ashamed of her. The whole thing was basically, your daughter did this and this and this, and this is why I hate her, and just extremely aggressive. The funny part is, she really thought she was going to send that to my mom, and my mom was going to be, like, so mad at me, and I was going to get in huge trouble, and she was
No,
gonna
of
have
course
her
not.
revenge. My mom and I were like, what? So after discussion, we all decide the best solution is just to block her number. So that's what we did. I do want to say that I don't hold anything against her now. We were all in high school. It was years ago. We all grow and change, but that friendship was definitely unhealthy, and as I'm sure you can see, it was honestly just best for both of us to go our separate ways.
If there are girls in your life who are toxic like that, they don't change. Okay? They don't change. They might get a little sneakier. It might not be as obvious that they're very toxic, but they don't change. I found the receipts from the crazy paragraphs she would send me when she was mad about guys looking at me.
Why does blank see you and look at you and wave to you and smile at you and acknowledge you? Oh, wait, and blank now. Oh, and blank was staring at you. The way I was at 18 years old, like, I was doing everything I can to make sure that, like, she felt good, even though she was literally, like, psychotic. But I was way too nice. Looking back at these now, yes, I should have just been like, girl, shut up. So my reply to that was, what am I supposed to do about it? I'm not even wearing makeup. Maybe they were staring because I'm ugly. I know how cringy that is, okay? I was trying so hard to make her feel better. She goes, yeah, deaf, because that's it, question mark.
Whoa!
I said, you never know. I don't see why you're annoyed at me. I didn't do anything. The most dramatic part. Whatever, ... I just ... I always feel like you're better. You're better than me with everything. You hang with famous guys. You get so many chances with so many people. Continued.
Whoa.
You get so many chances with so many people, like meeting blank and blank and blank and blank. You have a career set. You're doing great in school. You're gorgeous. You're always going to be prettier than me. Always. I don't care what you say. This next part. Don't deny it. It's just going to make me more mad and upset. Guys choose you all the time. Blank and you get along. Blank, 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 blank. Now blank, now blank. Oh wait, don't forget blank. They always will effing pick you to talk to, you to hang out with. You're prettier. That's effing why, and I can't take it anymore. You're number one always, and I'm number two always.
Whoa.
To clarify, like, the famous guys part, she's meaning, like, social media people. I was on a social media tour, which I invited her to come with me on, but she always said no. This whole section, guys choose you all the time here, and the names, those were kids in my class. Guys with girlfriends who were in my class. Like, no flirtatious things or whatever, just people that were in my class. She couldn't stand that guys, like, considered me a friend and not her, even though she wasn't even in those classes. This one was cropped for some reason, and I don't have the original, so this is what we got. I don't hang with famous guys. I invited you to come with me when I hang out with those guys. Blank, blank, blank. They're my friends. Am I not allowed to have guy friends? And blank, I know for a fact I'm not prettier. They're just friends. You're gorgeous, and it makes me upset that you can't see that. Again, I'm trying so hard to make her feel better about herself because I know how insecure she was.
Oh, this is so weird.
It makes me upset that blank effing picked you. Blank would pick you any day. How can't you effing see that? Like, what does this pick me? Like, what are they picking me for? She goes on to say, I'm just annoyed that you're always first. Guys always like you better. I felt horrible just sitting there. He wanted to play with you. Why can't you see that? Blank waved to you and said, hey. Again, blank is the guy that I have a crush on. The guy wanted to play pool with both of us, and she walked away. I said, I don't know what you want me to do. This was a few days before a social media party that I invited her to, so this was her next reply. Forget it. I don't even want to go tomorrow. Why am I going? I don't know the people. It's going to be so awkward for me. You're going to have fun because you'll look gorgeous. You'll have people who you actually know, and now you want to sleep over at the girl's house. I don't know her. Again, the person that invited us to the party. I say, you're seriously not going to go? She said, I don't know what I want to do. So yeah, a little trip down memory lane. She is actually psychotic, so that was great.
The thing is like, I can kind of understand where the friend is, like, she sounds psychotic, don't get me wrong. She does sound psychotic. But, like, it does bother you to a certain extent to feel like you're always second best. Like, if you're always going out to, like, with your friends and, you know, you never get talked to, nobody ever pays attention to you because it's always your friends. I can empathize with that feeling, but never would I go to that friend and be mad at them because they were getting more attention than me.
A kid from high school has been texting me Merry Christmas and Happy Birthday for the last 10 years. Yesterday was the 10th year anniversary. I need to show you guys. Everyone meet Jack. Alright, I know I'm old as fuck. This is in high school, start of high school. I texted him some random letters so he has my number. And he was also one of those kids that like didn't have any social media. So I, got him an Instagram, made him a password, all that. I was being nice. And I knew him at this point. So he says, Merry Christmas. You too, Jack. Now, a year later, still on the soccer team from high school. So he picked me up with his mom, I think. All these texts I'm about to show you is the only time we've ever texted. So then a year later, he says, Merry Christmas. Because the texts are so old, some of them flip. So I said, you too, Jack, and they said thanks. Okay, here's where I'm starting to try and read him. This is my birthday, October 27th. Okay, so how do you read a person that you just never talk to? This is where I haven't seen him in a while. He sends me a happy birthday message. So I said thanks. I called him something that gives away his last name, so I blurted out. Keep in mind, I don't know when his birthday is, but he started texting me happy birthday. So it was, more personal, so I'm like, all right, thanks, last name. And then he doubles down, says Merry Christmas again. You too, Jack. At this point, I'm like, I gotta start switching it up. He says thanks, Isaac, back. I'm like, all right, bet. I'm switching it up now. Another year later, happy birthday, Isaac. I go, thanks, Jack. How have you been, man? And I get no response. So now I'm like,
weird.
Damn,
Weird.
Text me, Merry Christmas, 2017. Now I haven't seen him for like a year at least. Merry Christmas, bro. Thank you. All right, we're getting somewhere. Now it's 2018, and I was like, maybe he just wants someone to like talk to or something. So let me try and bridge the gap a little bit. It's feeling nice, I think. 2018, what was that, 5 years ago? Love you, Jack. Thanks, bro. I'm thinking, he's gonna be like, oh man, it's all love, bro. Like, what's good, blah, 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 how you been? I get no response.
Weird.
Now I gotta go back to the drawing board. Merry Christmas, pal. Hope the family's doing well. Absolute banger. Thank you, all is well. Hope your family is doing merry as well. Bang. Last year. Happy birthday.
Oh, we're adding emojis.
Thanks, Jack. Good to hear from you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, brother. I don't know if it's sent. Another happy birthday.
This is insane!
That last year took a lot out of me, so thanks, Jack. Good to hear from you. Now it's been going on 10 years. What's my next steps here?
Are you aware of his birthday? Do you know his birthday? Why is he only aware of when it's your birthday? I feel like you guys are gonna be besties.